We are now going into 2024, and this year is looking like a great year for some big video game releases. January is not the busiest month for game releases, however, there are some big new games mixed in with some fantastic indie titles. My name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and today we will be covering 10 new Xbox games arriving onto the platform for January 2024. A couple of these games are dropping onto Game Pass day one, so stay tuned to the end of the video to find out more. First up, on the 11th of January, we have a game for all the strategy fans out there, and that is War Hospital. This is a 3D isometric RTS that pits you in the darkness of World War I, where you will manage a field hospital and the medical corps for any soldiers that arrive. You will have to treat horrible war injuries as the commander of a field hospital and build a facility to heal them whilst the artillery shells explode nearby. The developers have promised a lot of real World War I equipment, and you will have to learn how to use your tools and methods as they evolve on the front line. This will be available for both the Xbox Series consoles on its release. One game that I am very excited for, especially due to the new direction, is the new Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This time Ubisoft has decided to transition away from the action-adventure style we all know and love, and places us in a 2D action platformer that is an obvious Metroidvania-inspired combat experience. There is now a new character who we will discover more about, and there seems to be a larger emphasis on powers and big boss battles. Seeing a Prince of Persia game with a more modern style with clean graphics and animation alongside 3D environments is utterly fantastic, and we can finally jump into this experience on all Xbox consoles on July 18th. Arriving on the same day, we have the next entry in a fan-loved series, and that is Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. This will be entering Game Pass day one on release and aims to follow up on the impressive first entry. The developers are bringing some changes from the original, such as top-down shooter elements and roguelike elements, which will definitely shake up the traditional formula, but one thing that clearly hasn't changed is Turnip Boy's life of crime. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank sees Turnip Boy joining forces with the Pickle Gang this time against the Botanical Bank, and the sequel changes also included additions to its accessibility options. This seems like it's going to be an amazing indie darling, especially for Xbox Game Pass, and I cannot wait to play this upon its release. A game that is arriving on the 23rd is an indie title that I've been following for a little while now, and that is Little Guardsman. In this deduction adventure, you play as Lil, an unlikely 12-year-old hero covering your dad's shift at the guard shed, and are tasked with deciding the fate of over 100 unique characters. You will have to question humans, elves, goblins, cyclopses, and other fantastical creatures using your powers of deduction to determine who to admit and deny based on how they respond to your questions. Again, this looks like a pretty unique indie title, and previews so far have been fantastic. Unfortunately, the publisher Versus Evil did close down only a couple of days before Christmas, but we will still see this indie release, and it would be great to experience potentially one of the last games from this publisher. Now, arriving on the 23rd of January is Stumble Guys. If you're like me, you're probably looking at this game thinking it's some sort of Fall Guys ripoff. However, there does seem to be a fairly decent game underneath this initial view. This game has been out on PC for quite some time now and is rated extremely positively by the community and improves a lot on where the areas of Fall Guys does fall short. As to be expected with this game, you will take on up to 32 other players in different knockout rounds. These consist of survival elimination, team play, and races, with you either battling alone or with a randomized team. This is essentially Fall Guys, so there's not much else to cover, but this game is free for all users and definitely worth a play when it comes to the Xbox Series consoles. I know that there are many fans of this franchise, and we are finally receiving Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy on Xbox very soon. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy includes the 4th, 5th, and 6th mainline Ace Attorney game from Capcom's Courtroom Battle series. You will again get to join Apollo on his journey to bring order to the courts and bring an end to the dark age of law. All entries have been very well received, giving these handheld-only games a refresh start with this upcoming collection. It is more than a simple port, as the visuals have not just been enhanced to fit modern screens, but also several bonuses are included. This includes things such as DLC, a new music player, an art gallery, and even a scene editor. It arrives for all Xbox consoles on the 24th of January. One awesome indie game that I cannot wait for is the dizzying and action-packed Mecha Ball. This game lets you loose as you get to explore and conquer 4 distinct worlds filled with an array of rampaging robots, massive bosses, and obstacles straight out of a pinball table. This looks incredibly fast-paced and very well polished, and I love the details such as bouncy bumpers to make yourself even faster and go into the air to take down enemies. This is certainly a unique looking indie game, and I think it's high time we saw some more great top-down action shooters, and this looks to certainly scratch that itch. This game was announced back at the Xbox Extended Showcase later last year and was announced for Game Pass day 1 and arrives on January 25th. Recent years have been huge for Like a Dragon fans, and 2024 is shaping up to be no different with the release of the highly anticipated Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The game is set to feature both Kazuma Kiryu and Ichiban Kusuga as dual protagonists in the story set outside of Japan for the first time in the series, bringing players to the new location of Hawaii. With how much hype has been built for this game over the past year, there are a lot of expectations riding on Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth to deliver one of the most comprehensive experiences in this series to date. We don't have much longer to wait though on this release, as it comes to the Xbox Series consoles on January 26th. Now, Tekken A is just around the corner, and we are finally getting a new entry in this juggernaut franchise. With some incredible fighting games released in 2023, such as Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6, I think many of us are anticipating an incredibly well-polished and content-packed experience from the Tekken developers. From early previews from some outlets, it seems as though the combat is incredibly hard-hitting, fluid, and is looking wonderful. Many have stated that the gameplay already makes Tekken 8 feel like it's going to be remembered as a classic of the franchise. However, we are yet to see what modes and content is going to be offered. If you're a fan of Tekken or fighting games in general, then get ready to jump in when this launches on the Xbox Series X and S on January 26th. For all you Rugby fans out there, you will finally be able to get your hands on Rugby 24 this January, after its slight delay by Nakon. Nakon are back once again with another Rugby outing for you to enjoy, this time with the highest number of teams ever in the series, with roughly 130 national teams being available at launch. As mentioned, there was a slight delay, but this was due to the developers getting all the photogrammetry for all players prior to the World Cup, ensuring the gameplay has also been improved and adjusted from feedback in previous entries. This promises to be the most comprehensive experience of a rugby game to date. If you like rugby and are looking forward to the Six Nations, which is just around the corner, then you can pick up Rugby 24 on the 30th of January for the Xbox Series X and S. What game are you looking forward to picking up this January? Let me know in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. Whilst here, check out the 20 best FPS games you can play right now on Xbox Game Pass.